It's Monday, March 27th, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Mantle. We have a great show in store for you today. Up first, we're going to chat with Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown. Then we're going to find out about some great new community resources available at the Osterville Village Library. And finally, we're going to catch up with Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross. He's going to give us an update on everything that's happening at 4Cs. But first, let's go ahead and get a look at today's top headlines. Well, no solar array in Cotuit, at least for now. Town Council voted 8-5 to withdraw that proposal to build a solar array in Cotuit. The Cotuit Water Department presented the plan that would have required about 30 acres of clear cutting. More than 100 residents attended the meeting, most concerned about that clear cutting. Well, Town Council votes unanimously to appoint Elizabeth Jenkins as the new Growth Management Director. Jenkins has served as the interim Growth Management Director since January of this year. Prior to that, Jenkins served as the Regulatory and Design Review Planner for the Growth Management Department. The Planning Board will review a proposal to create a Gateway Medical District. That proposal would rezone a portion of the Medical Services Overlay District in Hyannis to allow for more uses in the area. Also on the agenda is a proposal to expand the Marine Business District in Osterville. The Planning Board meets the Planning Board meets today in the Town Hall hearing room. The Board of Health will discuss lifeguard regulations again this week. Right now, hotels and motels with 75 units or less are not required to have a lifeguard. The current trial period is about to end, and the board will consider how to proceed. The Board of Health meets at 3 in the Town Hall hearing room. That meeting will air live right here on Channel 18. Well, next up, we're going to get Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown, on the phone. So joining me now live on the phone, Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown. A busy time of year for you at the school department. We're talking budget.
Good morning, Sarah. Nice to be on with you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tell me a little bit about this year's proposed, or actually next fiscal year's proposed budget that you'll be reviewing with Town Council and the like over the next few months.
That's right. We had presented our fiscal year 2018 recommended budget to the Barnstable School Committee. They've heard the budget a number of times now. There was a public hearing a week or two ago, and so we're moving forward with the budget. The school committee will hear it at their April meeting before it goes to Town Council. The school committee will need to take a vote on it to move it forward. The budget this year is looking about a $1.6 million increase to a little over $67 million, which represents about 2.4% increase from last year to this year.
Now, what is the increase for? Is that for staffing cost increases, maybe in salaries or insurance costs?
That's right. The budget includes funding for salary and wage increases for staff. Much of our staff are under collective bargaining agreements, and we are in negotiations with a number of our unions. However, if you think about a teacher's pay scale, teachers move across columns as they gain years or gain additional education, and move down rows as they gain additional years of experience. So we need to build in those costs as we're planning for the budget. We call them lane changes. And additionally, again, as I had indicated, we are in active negotiations with certainly the Barnstable Teachers Association at this point. But outside of salary costs, we had to budget this year for an additional cost contractual rate in transportation. Our transportation costs went up about $340,000. And again, that's not adding more routes or buses. We had to go out to renew a contract. We were expecting some increases on bus transportation, and although $340,000 sounds like a big chunk of change, it actually was worked out to be slightly less than what we had anticipated in terms of rising costs. So that will be factored in as well.
And as we know, I mean, that's just how the world works. Costs rise as the years go by, so I'm glad that wasn't too big of an increase. Are there any major changes in the budget from last year to next year that we'll see in this budget?
Not particularly. We are adding an additional program up at the high school for for our students with specific learning needs so that we create a continuum of services from kindergarten all the way through the high school. So we'll include that program enhancement. But most importantly, our budget retains current staffing levels. Our employees make up probably a little bit over between 70-80% of our entire budget. And from our perspective, our staff, our employees are our greatest asset and resource. So whether students are having, a healthy breakfast to start their school day, or we're maintaining a safe, positive school environment, providing co-curricular activities, designing curriculum, providing instruction, every position in the fiscal year 2018 budget serves a role in supporting and preparing all of our students. So we're, very pleased that our staffing levels can continue in that manner.
Yeah, that is very exciting, and I'm sure reassuring to many parents who have students in the school district. What about programs? Are programs going to stay the same, or were there any cuts to programs?
No cuts to programs. Our programs, again, are a level service, meaning that no cuts to current programs, curricular activities. Everything that occurred this year is rolling over to next year. There is one potential increased cost for our families, and the school committee, again, at their Wednesday, April 5th meeting will discuss it further, and that is an increase to transportation fees. We are proposing a $25 increase for those families that currently purchase bus passes. And again, that's to slightly offset the $340,000 increase we have in bus transportation contracts. It certainly doesn't, makes a small dent in it. It doesn't, compensate for the increased cost in the transportation contract. But we proposed the $25 increase to the school committee at the March meeting, and they'll take it up again for further discussion and possible action at their Wednesday, April 5th meeting.
Wonderful. Great to know that even though costs are rising, you're trying not to pass all of it on to the parents. I know it can be a costly expense to get transportation. If someone is struggling and cannot afford transportation, there are programs available to help them maybe apply for a subsidy there. Is that correct?
That's correct. So if we have a family who is currently receiving free and reduced lunch for the school lunch program, we would certainly encourage those families to contact our transportation department if they haven't already, because there are reduced transportation fees for families that are taking advantage of our free and reduced lunch program.
Wonderful. Thank you for that update. Now, as you said, there's going to be some more discussion April 5th. If someone's watching right now and saying, I really have an opinion I'd like to share, when would be the best time for them to come and sort of state that opinion? Is it at the school committee at this point, or should they wait till the town council public hearing?
No, we would encourage parents and citizens to come to the April 5th school committee meeting. It begins at 7 o'clock in the hearing room at Town Hall. And there's an opportunity at every school committee meeting for public input. Our chair, Margot Weber, will call for public input early in the meeting and open it up for a period of time. So we certainly would look forward to and welcome community input on the budget. I think that only helps in terms of creating a budget that's reflective of student need and community value. So we would very much look forward to any input that the community wanted to provide.
Well, thank you so much, Meg. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us about the proposed budget for the next fiscal year. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, good morning.
Bye-bye. Our guest today, Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown. Now we're going to take a trip over to Osterville. We're actually going to talk with Cindy Cotton. She's the Executive Director at the Osterville Village Library. She's going to tell us about a lot of new programs they have available for residents. So Cindy, so good to see you here today. We are standing in the new entrepreneur section, the new business center here at the Osterville Village Library. What made you want to create the space for business folks?
Oh, well, walking through the library and talking with our patrons, there were so many people working out of the library, and we wanted to support their needs here. So it seemed like the perfect room and opportunity. This was the community room, named for Mrs. McGraw, and it kind of outgrew its space. So we moved that out into the atrium, and we reconfigured this room to make it suitable for people to come in and work.
Let's talk about some of the features here in the business center, because there are a lot of features that people will really find great use for. So we have
we have
shredder.
Yep, we have a shredder, a HIPAA 3 level shredder. It's $1 a minute, and it does 25 pages at a time. It's great. You can see your stuff being shredded. You can do CDs, DVDs, paper clips, staples, and it's great. The motor doesn't burn out like the one at home after like 3 sheets of paper go in, and it doesn't get jammed easily. And it's a great asset for people and for, you know, patrons of the library.
And then, of course, if they need to make copies or they need to print something, there is a printer here, which is fabulous. I mean, these are resources you would find at a facility where you would pay for membership. And you're really trying to make this free for so many people in our community.
Yes. We have, you do have to pay for the copies, but they're very inexpensive. It's like 25 cents for color, 10 cents for black and white. And we can do large format up to 11 by 17, which is nice, and you can use different stock papers. The machine, besides doing color and black and white copies, it is a fax machine, and it also scans to email and scans to USB for anybody with documents or things like that that they need to do.
Wow. So cool. And then, of course, you have publications for business members. You have the Wall Street Journal, other publications for business. So they really, so many references and things that they can use here. Of course, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi throughout. We also have Mac and Apple computers through the building. We have magazines too, like Harvard Business Review, Wired, Forbes, Money Magazine. We've got business journals. As you mentioned, the newspapers. We, always have reference people on staff that can help with any computer questions or issues. And, these tables are sit to stand, so you can move them to collate projects. It's really limitless of what somebody can create or develop in here.
Wow, really, really cool. And of course, you said people can make use of the other spaces in the library as well. So really cool changes that you have here. Very excited to see those. You also have a brand new art exhibit upstairs, which we want to talk about. What is this art exhibit you have?
Well, we are thrilled. This was at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum, and it's called The Lore of the Lore. And it's Dr. Dunn's private collection of 19th and 20th century marine art. And they are the most exquisite pictures, artwork, and they all tell a story. And he is great at telling that story along with it. We're going to have him here on 2 occasions speaking about the exhibit, but the exhibit will be here through the 1st of October.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So everyone has plenty of time to take a peek at that art exhibit. I want to talk to you, too, about another idea you guys are working on. We've seen little free libraries pop up across the Cape, seen a couple in Hyannis, one in Barnstable Village, and one in Katuitt. You're actually hoping to get one approved for Dowses Beach, which is very exciting. You got that approved from the Rec Commission?
Yes, we did. We're thrilled, and we're going into the next steps to get this done, and we're kind of going to work with the older kids as a STEM project to see how the house gets built. We're building it ourselves, and so kids can see how the project is done, and then hopefully we'll have one at Dowses, and then we'll try for Joshua's.
Yeah, really cool. And what a great place if you're at a beach. You're in need of some reading material. There you go. The Little Free Library is the place to find it. What made you want to do that?
Well, I mean, we just want to help everybody, have access to books. And the libraries, the beach is a perfect place. I don't want to bring a several $100 Kindle or iPad and worry about it getting wet or rain or sand in it. And, books are traditional, what you do at the beach in the summertime.
That's right. That's right. Enjoy it. Well, anything else you want to share with us about happenings at the library before we wrap up?
Well, we're thrilled. Our 135th anniversary is coming up. We're having the book and the video on July 13th. We have our annual clam bake, mutts and martinis, because we're the only dog-friendly library around. We have lots of wonderful things going on, and we always love to hear what you want. So come see us.
Wonderful. And then I did see the sign as I entered the library that says we are a dog-friendly library. What should people know about bringing their dogs to the library? Are there any rules or regulations that they should be aware of?
Dogs need to be well behaved, and they need to make sure they stop by the circulation desk and get a treat.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you so much, Cindy. We really appreciate it. My guest today, of course, Cindy Cotton. She's the executive director here at the Osterville Village Library. Joining me now live on the phone, we have Cape Cod Community College spokesperson Michael Gross, or communications director rather. Thank you for joining us. I know we're going to be talking about an exciting program, pretty new to the college, the aviation maintenance program. Where are you guys with this program?
I really wanted to bring it up today because there's a lot of amazing things that are beginning to happen, and I think that being in Plymouth, it would be easy for it to be sort of out of sight, out of mind for the general public. And yet, considering we just began it less than a year ago, we now have almost 50 students in this program. One entire group has already gone through their training on the aviation airplane itself, on all the fuselage and all the body parts to the airplane, and they're beginning their power plant training. The other new group has come in, and they're beginning on the front end of airframe, and that's the way it will roll as segments of students come in and get started again. We'll be enrolling for the fall very, very soon. And I want to bring it up to the general public, and especially to parents and guidance counselors, people in the area who might want to know that here's a program in which that we are constantly getting members of the aviation industry themselves coming to Plymouth, coming to our facility, because it is such an unusual one and so high-tech. They're literally coming now talking to our students about where their career path is going. Most recently, Delta Airlines had their people who hire the aviation mechanics for all of Delta come to our campus there in the Plymouth Municipal Airport and speak to our students about the kind of jobs that are there, the kind of education they would like them to have, and in fact, Delta was talking a little bit about even extending through to the full associate's degree, not just the FAA certification, and then even going on and getting the bachelor's degree as well. As we know, airplanes are getting more and more complex, and the more education you can get in both the engineering side and the repair side, it's absolutely critical. But this Delta's visit just recently is one of the things that is happening all the time. It was interesting. I happened to see out on one of the jobs websites, there was a posting for aviation mechanics, and they were at locations all over New England, and the company was saying all over the world. And I think this is kind of a program that it's hidden up there. We don't think a lot about it, but our students are literally going to graduate out and immediately walk into jobs that are $45,000 to $50,000, and with the real potential. Delta was saying within 3 years you could easily be pushing close to six figures. And I think that as we look at it, as we head to the fall, I think there are students out there. Maybe there are people who currently are working in the marine industry and are looking for something different. Maybe there are auto mechanics that are looking for something different. They could well be high school students who are in programs now. We'll soon be beginning a program in which dual enrollment will take current high school students and take them for part of their high school week and take them for training and begin that process. So it's very important, I think, for the public to know that that program is amazingly successful and will continue to be, and the industry itself is telling us an awful lot of things.
Yeah, it's so important too. Very exciting to hear that there are jobs around in this industry, and that's really why you guys wanted to have this program and create this program not too long ago, was because you saw the need. And so what a great opportunity for individuals to come out of a program and be able to get a good paying job.
And true, one of the interesting things about it, this program grew out of a conversation between Cape Air executives and President Cox, and Cape Air being so frustrated that they couldn't get the trained people for their own airplanes here, and they were literally flying their planes into other parts of the country and in fact in other parts of the world just to get their servicing of their airplanes. And it was very frustrating and obviously expensive, and trying to find a way to grow our own. The other thing is true that Logan isn't that far away. Neither is Providence. Neither is Worcester. There are so many places. Even small aviation, we have a lot of people that like to sort of open up their own shops, and the opportunity to work in local municipal airports, servicing private industry is very, very real. And we fully expect our students to look at lots of opportunities, probably before they get fully certified. And we're hoping they'll stay in and finish it all the way through because there is such demand.
And, I want to talk, too, the program is an amazing program, and some of the instructors are actually being recognized by the FAA for their work.
This is very special, and I'm pleased to kind of preview our audiences here with an award that will be given tomorrow by the federal administration, the aviation administration, to one of our instructors. And I think this also bodes as an indicator of the kind of quality of people that are training students up there. Bob Nelson has been an aviation mechanic. He has worked literally for JetBlue, worked for Gulfstream, the people that make the amazing aircraft that corporate America flies, has been a senior member of the Gulfstream team for many years. Bob is up teaching our students, and tomorrow he will be given the Charles Taylor Master Mechanic Award by the FAA. It's an award that recognizes the lifetime achievements of senior mechanics, and it's not something to give out very lightly. Bob was nominated by a number of people from all over the country, and when I take a look at the nominations from people who've said that, I've been working with someone who maintains an aircraft in the most professional manner and has the most highest ethical standards for teaching everyone. That's an amazing notation from someone from North Carolina who worked with Bob for many, many years. We'll go up tomorrow. The FAA will join us, and our students are getting the advantage of getting the most prestigious award the FAA can issue to anyone certified as an aviation mechanic, and those students are being taught every day by Bob Nelson. And I am so pleased to see the FAA recognize him. And it, again, talks about the kind of people we've been able to recruit because this unique program has state-of-the-art technology, has students who are right there every single day. One of the notations from the FAA when they come in to do an inspection, our students are working very, very intensively. But they do get 10 or 15-minute breaks in between classes. And in reality, the students didn't leave their workbenches. They just wanted to keep working and practicing and learning. And the FAA was astonished at the kind of energy and commitment the students were having to teaching. And if you have someone like Bob Nelson, who's going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from the FAA, that certainly is the kind of motivator that our students will enjoy and are being successful getting.
Now, Michael, if someone wants to learn about this program, where should they go? Should they go to the website?
That's probably the best place. It's very easy, capecod.edu/aviation. And you'll see there all kinds of information about the program. We also will be having some open houses up in Plymouth. We'll be bringing people up and having our people down here on this campus talking about the program a little later on. I would hope that people would go and take a look. And if they're curious at all, Miles Tranquina, an amazing student ambassador for the program working there with our students, would be happy to talk to you. So would Stan Mankiewicz, the program coordinator. And I hope that people will go. capecod.edu/aviation. It's a program that really deserves a second look by a lot of people. And since it's sort of off the Cape just by the nature of where space was available, it would be easy to sort of forget it exists.
Well, thank you, Michael, for joining us today and telling us all about the program, giving us an update there. And of course, congratulations to the instructor, Charles Taylor. Very, very exciting news there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week, Michael.
Bye-bye now.
All right, bye-bye. My guest today, Cape Cod Community College Communications Director, Michael Gross. Now let's go ahead and find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. Well, the West Barnstable Fire Department is going to host its annual spaghetti supper Saturday, April 1st. If you don't want spaghetti, new to the menu this year, you can get a meatball sub, and takeout will also be available. Admission is $10 for adults, $6 for kids, and 12 and under are free. The spaghetti supper will be held Saturday, April 1st from 5 to 7:30. Local author Nancy Rubin Stewart will speak next week at the Hyannis Public Library. Stewart is the author of 5 books of nonfiction, including Defiant Brides and The Muse of the Revolution, The Secret Pen of Mercy Otis Warren, and The Founding of a Nation. Stewart will read from an untitled historical novel that she's working on. The talk begins at 2 in the afternoon, Wednesday, March 29th at the Hyannis Public Library. Well, now here's a look at this week's Board, Committee, and Commission meeting schedule. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be back tomorrow with another great show for you. Tomorrow we will chat with Chief of Police Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos, and we will discuss her new position with the new Growth Management Director Elizabeth Jenkins. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.